Hey y'all, it's Beauty Rose, and we're here with another slay of the day. Let's get into this V-Day Glam. So I'm starting off prepping her skin with my Evian facial spray. It's just to hydrate her face, wake up her skin, and get it glowing. So now I'm going in with my Clinique Moisture Surge facial moisturizer. Y'all, this is my favorite moisturizer. It literally works on all skin types, and I actually have the mini. You can also purchase the minis at Ulta and Sephora. I always recommend to purchase the minis first if you're trying out something new. And this is just an e.l.f. Foundation brush that I'm using to buff into her skin. Make sure you get underneath the eyes and everywhere else. So now I'm going to go in with my primers. I'm using a BH Cosmetics Mattifying Primer and the Milk Hydro Grip. I use the BH Cosmetic Mattifying Primer first, and then I go in with the Milk Hydro. Again, these are the minis. Remember to always buff the product into the client's skin. You don't want to swipe. It's kind of like a pressing motion that you do and patting it into the skin. So that's what I mean by buffing, to make sure it gets all over. Now I'm going to do her brows with my Max Luxe brow pencil in the shade Onyx, and I will have her link in the description below. I'm going to use my spoolie to put the hairs in place. When you're going from the front of the brow, you always want to be very light-handed, and then when I get to the tail, I'm going to add just a little pressure to darken up her tail just a little bit. And then in the front, you want to use brush-like strokes and then fade the brow inward. So you want to take the spoolie and go inward. Conceal her brows. For the brows, I do a 1-2 method. I use a light concealer in her foundation. So the first concealer that I'm going to, from the arch of her brow to the tail of her brow, is the shade Deep Chestnut. It's the e.l.f. Hydro Concealer. And like I said, I'm taking that from the arch of her brow to the tail. And on the front, I'm going to use her foundation color. I'm going to take that same e.l.f. concealer in the shade Porcelain. The reason why I did use a white is because I want her color to be very, very pigmented. I want it to show through. So I use a white concealer for her eyeshadow base. I just wanna let it down, baby, let it down, let it down, let it down. No, I just wanna let it down, baby, let it down, baby, let you down, down. Now I'm just taking my Morphe translucent setting powder and I'm setting her eyes so that it does not crack. Y'all, we do not want cracked eyes and eyeshadow. That is not cute. Now I'm going into my Cara Beauty palette. The two colors that I'm using from this palette is the dark brown, which is the Soul Size, and Little Tanned. So I have a deeper brown and then I have a softer brown that I'm using. I'm taking that deep brown color and I'm patting that directly onto her lid. And then I'm going to take the lighter brown and buff her edges out so that it's not harsh. We are going for a sultry V-Day Glam, so we definitely want to buff that darker brown out with a soft brown. And the brushes that I'm using will be down in the description below, so check that out. Now I'm going to go into my liquid liner. This is the NYX vinyl liner in the shade black. Y'all, doing liner took me a while because my hand was always shaky. So I learned to rest my pinky knuckle on the client's face just to give me a little bit of balance. Look into your eyes, I lose all track of time. Would you mind if I take my time with you? Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight her. I'm going for a really bright under eye, so I'm taking my Tarte Shape concealer in the shade medium beige, and I'm putting that in her inner corner and underneath her eye. And then I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. concealer in the shade Tan Sand. Y'all, I honestly think they discontinued this shade because I've been to over several Walmarts, Walgreens, and Ultas, and I cannot find it. And I'm very, very sad because literally this color is like a dupe to the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer Tan Sand, and it is literally just like perfect. And I'm so upset because I can't find it anywhere. So if y'all know where I can get that, or if they still have it, or if they didn't discontinue it, let your girl know because I seriously need it. So I'm taking my BH buffer brush and buffing out that concealer. I am pressing that into her skin. I am not swiping, y'all. We do not want any streaks. I am buffing her concealer out, and make sure you always get the edges. Even though it's going to be covered up with foundation, you still want to buff them out because you don't want any lines to show through. If I take my time with you, would you mind if I take my time with you? 'Cause I just wanna love you down. I just wanna love you down. I just wanna love you down. 'Cause I just wanna love you down. I just wanna love you down. Love you down. I just wanna love you down. I just wanna love you down. Baby, let me love you down. Love you down. Love you down. Oh, I just wanna love you down. Baby, let me love you down. Baby, let me love you down. Now I'm going into her foundation. I have the NARS Radiant Foundation in the shade Maaco and Syracuse, and I mix these two together to get her perfect complexion. Y'all, I am a true mixologist. I think it comes from me loving coloring, like coloring hair. So I use that same theory when I color with foundation. I personally do not have a whole rack of foundations. I literally have 5 foundations from whatever brand I'm using at that moment, and I mix. That is how I get my client's complexion. It's just easier, it's less for my makeup kit, it's not as heavy, and I just love mixing, and I always get it perfect, so I love it. Also, y'all, if you notice, I did my 1, 2, 3 method with the foundation as well. I literally do 3 strokes of foundation and I blend from that. I personally do not like when people pack a bunch of foundation on the skin. It's not needed, y'all, especially if you're going for a more soft, subtle, natural flesh tone glam. You kind of want to be light with the foundation. All you need is 1, 2, 3 and you're good, and blend from there. I promise you, a little goes a long way. brows, I always line with her foundation. I do not like halo brows. That's just like not the vibe. So it's just more for a seamless look to outline your brows or your client's brows with your foundation. It just looks very, very natural. Also, guys, take your time when it comes to the brows, baby. Take your time. You have to take your time if you want those brows to be crisp and clean. Now I'm taking my foundation brush and just buffing that out to make sure it's blended, and I'm going to finish the rest of her foundation application. Look into your eyes, I lose all track of time. Would you mind if I take my time with you? Would you mind if I take my time with you? 'Cause I just wanna love you down. I just wanna love you down. I just wanna love you down. Okay, y'all, so I took the lightest foundation, which was Syracuse, and I just put a little bit more on top of her foundation because it was just literally a tad bit too dark for my liking. Well, I wanted it to blend more with her skin, and it's okay. We all make mistakes. That's why it's foundation. You can always correct it. So I just took a little bit of that Syracuse, which was the lighter foundation, and I'm going to blend it out all over her face. Now I'm taking my buffing brush. This brush is by y'all look, I'm not even finna butcher that name, y'all. I'll have it in the description below, but it's a brush that I got from Target. It's by a Japanese brand, and I'm just going to buff out where her foundation meets her concealer, y'all. Oh, we do not want no harsh lines. That is not the vibe. That is not cute. Now I'm taking my cream contour stick. This is actually the Revolution foundation stick in the number 14. I love doing a cream contour. It's my favorite. It's just so smooth. It's just my favorite, guys. And Revolution is very cheap. It's very affordable. You can actually get this from Ulta. That's where I get all of mine. And I'm taking that same Japanese buffing brush to buff out the cream contour. I am buffing her contour upward so that it gives her a little snatch. Always blend upward when it comes to your contour. going to blend her nose. I'm using my Morphe M580 brush, and I only use this for the nose because it literally gets it right where I want it. And I'm buffing that out, y'all. I know it looks like, well, I am kind of swiping a little bit, but I'm more so like pressing, if that makes sense. Taking my Real Technique setting brush, and I'm just buffing that out just a little bit. Now I'm using my e.l.f. concealer in the shade Tan Sand to highlight her nose, forehead, and chin area. I'm going back in with the brush that I used to blend out her highlights. That is the beige blending brush. So I'm using that. I didn't put any more product on. I'm using what's on to buff that out. Please remember to pat and do not swipe, and also always keep your foundation brush in the other hand. It's just so that you're giving a seamless blend, y'all. So the concealer brush and the foundation brush should always be in your hand at all times to make sure you have a flawless blend. I just wanna let it down, baby, let it down, let it down, let it down. No, I just wanna let it down, baby, let it down, baby, let you down, So she started to crease a little bit, so I just took just a tad bit of that light concealer shade and patted it directly underneath her eyes. We don't want any creases, y'all. Creases are not cute, okay? So I'm just going to pat that in that area, buff it out, and then set it. To set her concealer, I'm using the Mercier translucent powder. I am taking my Morphe setting brush. It's the Morphe E49, and this is my favorite brush to set, y'all. It just gives it, just look at the difference, how smooth it is, like butter, okay? And this is what you want. I love this brush so much, and that Mercier is like my holy grail. I literally use it for every single face. It doesn't give any flashback. You'll love it. Also, get the mini because it lasts a long time, y'all. Now I'm going to set her contour using my Juvia's Place contour palette. This is the shade 10. I'm using the second dark color for her face contour under her cheeks, her jawline, and her forehead. And for her nose, I use the lighter shade because I don't like a harsh nose contour. I like it to be soft and natural as possible. Maybelline pressed powder in the shade 310 to set all of the rest of her foundation. Y'all, this literally makes it look like butter, and it just melts in her skin, and I just really love it. Now I'm going to my BH Cosmetics Cherry on Top palette, and I'm using the shade Tarte, which is that deep red. Y'all, all of the palettes that I use can be purchased from like TJ Maxx, Marshalls. They're like $5, $6, like $10 palettes. Not expensive at all, y'all. I get all of my makeup palettes from there. It's very rare that I will buy a full price makeup palette because I'm getting it for a good price at, you know, TJ Maxx and Marshalls, y'all. So they're the plug, and their restock day is every Thursday. Don't ask me why I know that. Judge your mama, not me. But head over to TJ Maxx to get your affordable name brand cosmetic palettes. Now I'm going to take my lash glue and I'm applying that on her lash line. I already applied it on her lashes. This gives your lashes that very strong hold, y'all. You don't have to worry about your lashes coming off. Constantly patting them back down with this method. And I'm taking my Morphe Mattifying Continuous Spray. I'm going to spray down her skin and press that in, y'all. This literally holds the makeup all day. So throughout your face or on your client's face, you want to pass through with your setting spray at least 2 or 3 times in between your steps, especially after foundation. The lash style that I'm using is called Lash Burst, and it is actually from my own lash line, which you can purchase on my website, and the link will be down in the description below. I love this lash because it's very natural looking, and it goes from short to long. It's fluffy, it's messy, and it's just like the cutest hybrid lash ever. Liner from Patrick Star One Size Makeup Collection, y'all. It is bomb.com. It's so pigmented and it's waterproof. It's my fave. Then I'm just going to hit the bottom lashes that she does have with the Tarte mascara. Now going on with my highlight from BH Cosmetics. This is the Miss Bella, and I'm using that middle shade called Glisten. I'm going in with my Morphe fan brush and lightly giving her a highlight on her, above her cheekbones, the bridge of her nose, the tip of her nose. Of course, because if that highlight isn't popping, then what are you doing? Like, what are we doing if the highlight is not popping, okay? If ain't nothing popping, that highlight better be popping. We're doing a nude lip. I'm taking my NYX liner in the shade Espresso. Y'all, this is the most perfect brown for every nude reddish lip that you want. This is my go-to pencil, hence why it's so small, because I literally use it for every face. So I would suggest getting this. You can get it from Walgreens, Walmart, Target, anywhere that where they sell drugstore makeup. Now I'm going in with a red because we're giving her a bold red lip. The lipstick is from Maybelline. I forgot the name of the lipstick, but it'll be down in the description below, and I think it was like $8 or $9, but it's like such a true like rich red, not too dark, not too light. It's just red, and I'm applying that with a brush, and I'm buffing that out as I'm putting it on her lips because I want it to be as seamless as possible. Now I'm just cleaning her lips up because I want that to be very sharp and clean. I'm just using a tad bit of foundation to clean around her lips. I'm going to buff that out and of course set it with some translucent powder. Spraying her down with my Morphe Mattifying Continuous Spray, and I'm going to press that into her skin. And that is it, y'all. Her face came out flawless, y'all. The lighting is everything. Please like this video. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Turn on that post notification bell so you can be notified when I post a video, y'all. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. And y'all, the background music is my friend's new single, Love You Down. Make sure you go stream that on all platforms, download it, buy it, and support my girl.